Hey guys, it's me, your friendly neighborhood gamer guy, gatorSTUDIOS. Why did I say that? Today I'm going to be reviewing my top 5 movies of 2021. I know it's 2022 and you might be saying, why now? I want to maybe make this a series every year, give my top 5 movies. And I was thinking about it and hey, now is the perfect time to start. 2021 happened. Why didn't I do it before? Let me also state that there were a plethora, yeah, I'm using big words now, plethora, of good movies to come out in 2021. It was actually an exciting year for movies. I felt excited, intrigued. My English is pretty bad. Point being, I was actually excited for movies. It's not exactly the same this year. There's not much good stuff coming out this year, but last year was fire, and we're not going to take that away from them. So without further ado, let's get into the movie-age stuff. Please. Yes. First movie that is kind of obvious. I'm sure you guys know that I'm a Marvel fan, comic fan, is Spider-Man No Way Home. I think that's just blatantly obvious. Even to people that aren't like comic fans or anything, I think that's still pretty obvious. It's a good movie and it was probably the most anticipated movie of 2021. There's some pretty good stuff, can't lie. Well, I mean, like, think about it. We got Electro, the Lizard, Sandman, Doc Ock, Green Goblin. Ooh. What? It's honestly probably my favorite Marvel movie ever, which is kinda crazy considering my favorite Marvel movie and my least favorite Marvel movie came out in the same year, Black Widow. But it's amazing. I do think, yeah, there's some plot points that don't make any sense, but honestly, I could care less. I'm not one of those people who goes into a movie and looks super deeply into everything and wants a perfect movie. I just want something entertaining and enjoyable, and well, that's what No Way Home brings, and more. You know, multiversal events, and the other Spider-Man was just an extra sugar and spice on top. I honestly wish they could have just added the Sinister Six. I mean, they had the ability to. They just chose not to. It's fine. You don't gotta. But it would have been cool. I mean, they could have just thrown Vulture in there. There really wouldn't have been a problem in doing so, if you know what I mean. Overall, I don't think I have to talk about this movie too much. If you know, you know. Now, next movie is another Marvel movie. I'm getting the Marvel movie just rectified and out of the way real quick so we can move on to the more surprising things, I guess. And that being Shang-Chi. Now, Shang-Chi is actually a fire movie, and it's probably one of the best, like, solo superhero movies in the MCU, or just solo superheroes in general. Given I'm a huge comic fan, and Shang-Chi is one of those characters I'm actually not too cultured on. I'm, like, seen the way he looks in the comics, like, a few times here and there. Never knew who he was, never knew his name. Never really even knew anything about him besides the way he looks, kind of. I sort of did some reading up and stuff when Shang-Chi came out, but still never really cared enough to. But I'm not gonna lie. The movie's amazing. It's all amazing. The soundtrack is god tier. I don't know if I'm allowed to play it because, copyright, but you have thumbs, you can look it up. Not to mention the amazing feature that they added in this movie by just a slight hint of abomination. Really just hits the palate, does it not? It's pretty fire, I'm not gonna lie to you. There's also things like the fight scenes, for example. The choreography in this movie is phenomenal. It's basically what you think is gonna happen, before you get in a fight in real life, except it's actually happening. It's literally amazing. I'm mind blown. The story is great too, and I think the characters are charming and great, and the actors just are good. I mean, really, it's a good movie that you can't hate, and it definitely deserves a top 5 spot for movies last year. Now, we're actually done with Marvel movies. I know some people might be surprised. There were a total of 5 movies, I think, that came out last year. Spider-Man No Way Home, Shang-Chi, The Eternals, Black Widow, Venom Let There Be Carnage. But I didn't really care much for the other ones. Venom was... These solo Sony movies are disgusting, and I think... I have a lot of criticism on the Venom movies, and I'm just not going to touch on, but please never do Cletus Cassidy again like that, ever. I think Eternals was actually alright. I know Eternals gets a lot of hate, but I don't think it was the worst movie in the world. Given it wasn't the best, but it was watchable. I think people hate on it too much. The other movie being Black Widow, my literal least favorite MCU, probably Marvel movie, because what they did to Taskmaster, that's not an excuse. I don't care. Let me cry about it like a big boy. The next movie and the final superhero movie, which just isn't really even superheroes, more like supervillains, you guessed it, The Suicide Squad. Now, this one blows me away, honestly, every time I think about it. It truly does, because I was not looking forward to this movie at all in the slightest. I don't know what it is exactly about the Suicide Squad, but when they made the first movie, I was super hyped, because Killer Croc is actually my favorite DC character in general, and I was just excited to see the boy in a movie, and then they did what they did to him. God has things he needs to fix. But I was just kind of thrown off. Given I think the comics are cool, but anything Suicide Squad related just gives me a headache because of that reason. But this movie was actually amazing. I was sitting there thinking, it really can't be that good. And I went into it more than surprised, I ain't gonna lie to you. This movie's fire, it's amazing. It's straight up chicken parm down on the farm. Now, let me explain what I mean by this. I mean, I think Idris Elba is a great actor, but I think he kind of went brazy in this movie. And I like the dynamic between some characters. And Peacemaker was kind of annoying in this show, I'll admit. But it led into the Peacemaker show, which was an amazing show, I can't lie. Harley Quinn was only... I don't really care that much for Harley Quinn. Okay, I can't say that, but, I don't get why Harley Quinn is such a popular character out of nowhere. It's just the Joker, but that's besides the point. The movie is great, and I think Starro the Conqueror is an awesome villain, although I wish he wouldn't have been used for this movie, I won't lie. They were saying something about they could have added Batmite as the main villain. I would have way rather had that than Starro. I get it's more jokey and it's more comical. I don't think jokey's a word. But I don't think Starro fit for this movie, honestly. Starro is a huge big bad and a villain that the Justice League fights fairly often. And I just feel like some normal humans really wouldn't mollywop Starro like that. I mean, if you think about it, in the end battle, the only people they go in with are Bloodsport, Harley Quinn, Polka Dot Man, Ratcatcher, and King Shark. And their strongest member to defeat Starro, in my opinion, is Polka Dot Man, and he gets mollywopped. And you're left with Bloodsport and Harley Quinn, which are just normal humans with weapons. And King Shark has super strength and all that, but I don't really know I don't see what he's gonna do to a giant star dude. He basically just disappears from the entire fight, by the way. And then Ratcatcher is really the only villain to even have a kind of power to stand up against such a character, in my opinion. I think it just kind of makes no sense how they defeated Starro, but hey, I'll let it pass for this sake. Overall, though, I think The Suicide Squad was an amazing movie. I thought the actors were great in it. I think they mastered their roles. And it was just charming. I mean, we got to see King Shark in a movie. Who ain't happy? I said, who ain't happy? Be happy! Next movie, if you know me in real life, you already predicted this. Godzilla vs. Kong. I love this movie with a passion, and it makes it so much sweeter that Godzilla won. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. What are these Kong fans gonna say? Oh, our boy lowered his heart rate and started dying, and it was only for the humans that he's still alive, but he won? Ha! You're a joke! But honestly, it doesn't matter. No matter what anyone says, we all know the truth deep down. So I'm okay with these Kong fans trying to reconcile for the things that they've lost. I don't even know if I use that term right, so ha. But honestly, the movie in general is great. I wish there was more Godzilla, yeah. And I also kinda hated the fact that they painted him as the villain. I get in the older Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla movie, I guess that's what they're trying to sort of go for when Mechagodzilla, you know, dressed up like Godzilla. And I've seen that movie. I love that movie. It is King Caesar, my favorite Godzilla villain. But something about it in this movie, it just didn't hit for me. And some of the characters were kind of annoying. I've seen a lot of people say they didn't like the part with the Stranger Things chick. Don't know her name. And the other two, I don't even know their names either. Where they were in the base. And to be honest, that's my favorite human part. I don't really care much for the guy, nor the chick with the kid. But at the end of the day, this is a kaiju movie. And what are we here for? Not the humans, I'll tell you. The kaiju action. And that's what we got. Mad kaiju action too. And Godzilla won both fights. You might say, oh, there's 3. When were there 3? I get people when these Kong fans want to say that when he hit him with the axe, that was the second fight. But they're not in a boxing ring. There ain't no bell. It ain't over till one man is slumped over. That kind of sounds like a bar. But hey, you can say what you want. Even if you do go by that logic, Godzilla still won. So hey, we got it. Mechagodzilla was cool, but I think they kind of made Mechagodzilla a little bit OP. I'm not gonna lie to you, because like, I mean, if you think about it, King Ghidorah was running hands with Godzilla, and I know Godzilla went all fire mode and beat him, but like, Mechagodzilla really just roared up and said, Bink, just ended that man's whole career. And I don't know, I feel like they kind of made him a little bit too OP. And I know another thing people are trying to say, these Kong fans, will Kong save Godzilla from Mechagodzilla? But that goes both ways. If you watch the movie, you see they both saved each other multiple times. So, I mean, but hey, it is what it is. I do think that they gave Kong some weird plot armor. I'm not trying to like make this review of it about like trashing Kong, but I mean like they did kind of give this man crazy plot armor. He also got carried by the humans in literally every step of the movie. There was one part where he literally got carried by some helicopters. Like, it's kind of surreal, but that's besides the point. I love this movie with a passion. From what it sounds like. We're getting a Godzilla vs. Kong 2 or something of the sort. Any more MonsterVerse projects I'm down for. Apparently we're going to be getting a Godzilla or some sort of MonsterVerse project with Kurt Russell, which I love. Kurt Russell is a god. But that's going to be fire. I cannot wait for that. It's going to be lit. It's gonna, And the last movie of 2021 that I have here on my list of top 5 movies is Mortal Kombat. I love the Mortal Kombat movie. Bruh. It's very rare when they make a good video game movie, let alone a video game movie that I care about, a good franchise. The only other good video game movies I've ever watched besides Mortal Kombat movies are like the Sonic movies. This movie was amazing. And you might be like, oh, why are you going so crazy? It's not like it's 100% game accurate and all that. Let's be real. Nothing game related that comes from a movie is ever going to be 100% accurate. And I'm fine with that. Just like with Marvel movies. It doesn't have to be 100% accurate to the comics. I'm fine with that. I don't want it to be. Because then we're going to know exactly what's going to happen. But this movie was fire. Red, they got the characters on point. Kano was amazing. Cabal, amazing. It's beautiful. And Cole Young, he was kind of an odd character. I don't know if I'd necessarily say I enjoyed his existence. I just don't have anything against it. You know what I mean? Like, I can't say that I dislike the character himself. I just don't know if I really like the character either. I think his powers are kind of odd too. But everything else is amazing. The only like character from the games I have a little complaint with is Liu Kang. Because, I don't know, they made his character kind of weird to me. Made him kind of like not a kid, but like, I don't know how to describe it. He was like looking up to Kung Lao so bad. And like, they kind of made him like he was bad. Like, not bad, but a trashier version of Kung Lao. Which, I mean, that's not really true. I'd say Liu Kang is sweeter, so one thing that almost made me cry and bawl out and just lay on the floor dying was Reptile. He just can't get a break in the Mortal Kombat universe. He's my favorite character and they keep doing him so dirty. But it doesn't end. Everything he's in, he just gets mollywopped, disrespected. It's kind of crazy. You could just call him trash. I'd say shut up. I think the fact that they made Kano kill him is just the most disrespectful thing out there. Makes me want to cry. But we're not going to talk about that. You know, I've seen people have complaints with the movie. I really do think it's great, honestly. The Reptile thing that I just mentioned is mainly just me crying because he's my favorite character. Not because I have a really nitpick with the movie like that. Like I said, one of the only things I really have against the movie is Liu Kang. And I guess Goro was kind of odd. They made him more like a big CGI monster than actually Goro. But, hey, it is what it is. Overall, I love the movie. It makes you want to literally get up and start just Mortal Kombat gang. Bro, and Sub-Zero is so hard in that movie. This man, every time he walks in, you just feel his presence, the iciness, the slickness. It's fire. Or ice. It's, what is the opposite to fire, to water? I don't know. But it is water. It's straight fire, bro. I'm sorry, I had to. I love it. I love the movie. It's amazing. And I cannot wait for this sequel. That right there was my top 5 movies of 2021. I'll be doing one for 2022, but 2022 probably ain't even gonna have that many good movies. I mean, so far, movies have been kind of mid. I'm not gonna say which ones I've liked because I don't give away. But anyways, thanks for watching the video. Hope y'all enjoy life. And oh.